All right. Last session in the Abyss. The gang is coming together. Mac, last session led with Mac's interaction with a guard as he was jumped in the alleyway and dealt some psychic damage. All interesting things. Uh, After which we got a scene where Mac questioned his sanity after a poignant message from some kind of being that claimed to share a home world with him. And after going into the bar, the foaming mug, he met Volton, Lasarius, and Teos, and uh, Curse, and Edwin, and Dravik, and, all the boys who go to the foaming mug after work. Only problem is, one of the boys can see through illusions. Volton, blind, saw only a robot underneath Mac, and was presumably put off by the fact that no one was mentioning it. So he pulled Mac aside, attempted to do so quietly. Mac resisted, and eventually uh, Volton was able to get the whole gang out the door and into the alley and start to have a conversation about what happened. Mac revealed his nature as a Warforged, Mobile Archive Construct number 316. And, well, that took everyone a bit by surprise, but it did not change Edwin's commitment to hospitality, nor did that commitment change when Lil Guy just kind of followed them home. And so we've, uh, after Edwin, Dravik, Mac, and Lil Guy go their own way, Curse, our eagerly listening bystander, uh, slunk off home for the evening, and Volton and Teos had a bit of a journey over to the home of one of the guards who was on duty named Tandrick to go find some information about this potential breach in hospitality from the powers that be. Volton retired early after, well, after a discussion that seemed inconclusive. And Teos stayed awake a little later, took a look around the city, and over the course of the night, saw a figure flitting through the darkness. Maybe not so uncommon on city streets in the Underdark. Mac, as you are undertaking your nightly repairs, making sure you're well maintained, well oiled, cleaned within reason, the words of that being, person, maybe? They echo in your ears. The lure of knowledge, especially knowledge of your home and the ability to return, weigh heavy on your heart. Fulton, you don't get a lot of sleep. It's on and off, and this feeling that someone is watching you, that you've all been feeling on and off over the course of the day, it's a lot more on than off tonight. And it's hard to shake the feeling that something's looking in. Morning greets us early, as we're Volton and Teos are off to meet back up with the guards potentially, or to meet back up with the crew.
I had asked, if I remember correctly, I had asked the guards and Mac to meet me at the order headquarters this morning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. That'll do great. Then all of y'all were slated to meet at the Brotherhood's headquarters, the Order of Saint Jude.
And I was planning on being there, but not being seen.
Despite not being explicitly invited. Yes. So
Not getting let through the front gates. Almost certainly.
okay. So at the front gates, we presently have Volton, an established member of the Order, maybe the most established member of the Order. Chaos, a yoked Viking dude, uh, also drow. Uh, a robot in sheep's clothing, a bug, and Curse, a known drunkard and
I'm not drunk
gambling addict.
now.
Do either of the Bartleby or what's his name show up? Tanric?
Neither of them do show up.
Okay, that was. All right. Well, I'll go find them. That's the whole plan, is to do a suspect lineup.
Okay, for sure. Where's the first place you're checking for them?
I suppose the guardhouse or
Makes a lot of
wherever
sense.
their headquarters is. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the guardhouse, you see the guard more active, more busy, looking a little more worried than usual. A couple of them turn and regard you. Most of them are not doing that.
Do I overhear or make a perception check to overhear if there's anything?
Yeah.
Maybe the cause of this concern.
No need for a check about it. There's a lot of, if you're just listening, there's a lot of.
I'm always listening.
There's a lot of mumbling about were rats.
Oh, all right, that makes sense.
And there's talk of wounded guards and a couple missing. There's also some talk about the were rats um, in terms of their place in the city.
Naturally.
Last night, as well, I don't know how closely you keep up with the were rats, but last night was a full moon. So they've been, yeah.
Would I be familiar with were rats at all from Grackles 2?
Conceptually, for sure, like lycanthropy happens, not
Yeah.
not a lot, but they tell stories about it and such. Lycanthropes
not
would
like-
not be tolerated in Grackles 2. They'd be executed.
Yeah, makes sense. Sweet. I just wanted to know what my knowledge of them was.
Yeah.
I'm
So
I'm assuming I'm with you, Volton.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you want to be.
I'm just kind of following you around, I'll be honest.
okay, then y'all are probably gonna get some looks about that. Anything anything y'all need done here?
I'm gonna find probably the captain or like a sergeant or something, ask him about Tanric and Bartleby, where they're at, and then I'll obviously keep the were rat reports in the back of my mind to investigate at a later date. Or honestly, if I see a member of my order, I'll send one of them to go investigate and report back to me too, I guess.
Okay. The captain of the guard around here is a sort of stout. He's kind of a pain in the ass. His name is his name is Karth, and he heaps things in line his way. That's important to him. But you can see
Is he a gnome, I assume?
yes, and he's a bit of a squat figure, but but well muscled and generally well intentioned, just a bit particular.
Yeah. Oi, Karth. I need to ask you something.
Dude.
Where are Bartleby and Tanric? They were supposed to meet me this morning.
Teos, you can see his face fall a bit.
I know that face.
Well, Bartleby's in hospice. Or hospital. There was a bit of an incident, scuffle last night. Bad news with the were rats. Tendrix, nowhere to be found.
Did they break out? What happened?
Looks like it. Bastards can't tighten their binds.
Somehow I don't believe that's true.
I'm sorry.
I'm familiar with them. They generally do a very good job of that. Despite the reputation, they're somewhat concerned for the well-being of the town.
I encourage you to raise these questions and concerns with someone else.
And I would expect you to encourage me to do that. Thank you, Karth. Have a good day.
Oh, okay. That's so
I'll
exciting.
turn Any further questions, Teos, Mac?
No,
All
I
right.
have no questions for the
Well,
gnome.
Immediately you can see Karth. Most of you can see Karth, uh, motioning for someone to come over and murmuring a message to them, looking at you guys intermittently.
Well, Mac, would you rather go see if this Bartleby is in the hospice is the one who attacked you, or go investigate this were-rat problem? Dan?
Sorry, what was that?
No, I asked Mac, would you rather go and see if Bartleby is the one who attacked you, or investigate this were-rat problem? Might be connected to the disappearance of, almost certainly connected to the disappearance of Tanric.
Right. I do not fancy running into that dwarf again, but
He's in hospice. He will be no
There-
harm.
there is a sense of justice, perhaps vengeance that I may be feeling in that wanting to find finding the dwarf. I would very much like to question him as to why he did attack me.
Very well. Then that is what we'll do. And I'll go to lead them to the hospice center, the hospital.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. The apothecary. Well, there are two in town. Uh, one is
I
a very
assume one is where
explicit.
they'd send a guard.
Right. Well, one of them is explicitly Catholic, and is mostly tied up in dealing with refugees who come sick, and those kinds of things. And the other is, frankly, where normal people go when they get sick.
No immigrants allowed.
No. Not, but most people don't have a thing about that. Kind of, mostly. Anyway, as you find your way to the hospital, they once again are busy bustling. You can see a couple members of the parish there. Be it the Catholic hospital or not, Catholics and nurses tends to tends to be a lot of overlap.
Mm-hmm.
So you can absolutely hail somebody who you would recognize at least.
Yes. Martha.
You probably wouldn't know a name, but
Okay, all right. Let's
but they would
Let's
recognize you.
gesture someone over. Yes, I'm looking for Bartleby, the guard. I believe he was wounded this morning.
Well, yes. And she looks around at your company briefly, and you've got like an extremely astute looking like wizard man and Chaos.
They're racist.
One of your only visible possessions is a weapon. And it's so visible.
They're
Explain
with
that it's
me. It's
racism.
order business.
What's that, Blake?
Say they're with me. It's order business.
I believe you. She takes you to Bartleby's room. And when you see him, there's nothing serious. But you can see, like, his clothing is damaged and bloodied. You can see a lot of scratch marks on the chest, and a leg is in a splint.
All right. Is he conscious or like sleeping?
He's presently sleeping.
All
It
right.
would the raid happened, or the release or what have you happened at night. It was probably a pretty long night for him.
Well, Mac is. I suppose little guy is probably here too, since he follows Mac everywhere. Um, is this the one who attacked?
Do I recognize him?
Yes. But it it looks like the same guy.
But what about
He's,
the eyes?
well, it's hard to see the eyes, but they're not glowing through his eyelids like they were.
Volton, he has a resemblance to what I remember, but to be 100% sure, I cannot say. It's merely a theory, really. Um, I think inconclusive at best.
Did you not get a good look? Your
Well,
companion. What is
it's
his name?
it's not that I didn't get a good look, but this man's eyes are shut, and when the guy who I attacked, his eyes were open, and he had these beaming eyes of what color, Tom? Was it red?
Red.
Red, obviously, of red, and until we open this guy's eyelids, I cannot confirm.
Would glowing red eyes have any significance to me, or have any, like, religiously or historically or anything that I might ring a bell living here?
Ooh,
This is just a new thing.
roll me a nature check.
Okay. I technically
will-
have a positive modifier here.
I will ask you to
That's a natural 20. Natural 20. All right. Right there. Right there.
come on. Now this is a visual detail. So I was I was looking for something high. Well, on a nat 20, certainly the first thing you think is drow eyes go red when they're using their dark vision, but that seems unconnected. Possession would potentially cause some kind of effect like that.
I do have to get going, guys, by the way. Super sorry to leave.
Well, good luck out there, Dan. Love you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
I don't.
Hi, Dan. Hope you find your dad.
And then little guy transforms into a robot and is now Mac. JK, but that'd been fun.
Chaos. Last night, the cloaked figure that you saw, you made out glowing red eyes under that cloak.
Bolton. He is not here. He has left the hospital.
I kind of like the idea every time we get up to go do something that's our character actively leaving the room.
I just, it's possession, and walk out of the room.
But Mac speaks of the glowing red eyes. Last night on my patrol, I saw the same thing.
It's almost certainly some form of possession. It's the only thing that makes any sense. They don't remember. I don't think he's lying. When I talked to him yesterday about not consciously committing the act. But possession by what? Does not seem demonic. I'm familiar, at least in theory, with that. At least, not the demons I'm familiar with.
Traffic in the construction zone.
Sorry, I joined the Spotify thing, but my Spotify was turned all the way up, so it just started going nuts.
Tristan, I just want you to know real quick that when Marie and I watched the session 1, we got like 5 minutes in, and she went, "When's Ruth gonna show up?" That's the only reason I'm here.
She did show up.
Exactly, she did show up, so then she was very happy. Anyway, sorry. Please continue.
Yeah.
Teos, what exactly is it you did see last night?
I couldn't see much. All I could see was a figure with a cloak darting around the corner in the distance. But I would be remiss if I did not notice its glowing red eyes. What it was doing, I could not follow. I tracked it the best I could, but it disappeared around a corner, and
Was it
I
height,
lost
like
sight
a
of it.
short, 3-foot
short.
figure? Or?
Yeah, it was short. It was a gnome. It was a gnome for sure. I wonder perhaps if this is connected at all with the Were-Rat release. I do not know the time that it happened, nor do I know the time that the Were-Rats got out. But if it is in any way connected, then perhaps the same thing that attacked Mac is the same thing that released the Were-Rats, and we have quite a bigger problem on our hands than we might realize.
Almost certainly. Well, it seems we have one lead. Let's follow it up. Yes? Let's go talk to the Were-Rats.
As you begin to move toward the Were-Rat colony, we'll flash back a moment to the same thing happening some handful of hours ago. Dravik,
Aye.
after the night of a full moon, it's your duty, along with a couple buddies of yours, to break the Were-Rats out. They can't do it themselves. That's kind of the point. And it can be there's a Aw,
Sorry. We're entertaining.
not at all. Not at all.
I am listening.
You're no stranger to losing people the night after a full moon. It doesn't happen often, but Were-Rats have to restrain themselves in more ways than werewolves, for example, would. Rats chew through anything.
Yeah.
And so they have to place restraints around their throats to stop them from eating their way out. As you move toward the colony, hoping for the best, prepared for the worst, expecting expecting, nothing serious. The first thing you see some ways away is guardsmen.
Mm. Like they're standing there, or
You can see some bustling inside the colony, talking to were-rats who look anxious and confused. You can see the guards with a solemn look, trying to maintain order and keep everybody in line and where they're supposed to be. But as you're coming to the perimeter of the colony, you can see a guard who stops you on the way in.
what is happening here?
Police business. Well,
Why are the were rats out? They're supposed to be. I'm here to break them free.
well, they've taken the liberty of that themselves.
That's impossible. It's not. That shouldn't be happening. Can I see them?
I'm afraid it's strictly business. I'm told not to allow anyone in. And if I may, you're a known friend of the were-rats. That's a conflict of interest.
Right.
Just don't want anyone tampering with the scene.
Aye.
Anything like that.
I'd be. Only thought I could perhaps have another set of eyes on them. I know that you guards don't come to this place very much. So I had figured that perhaps my expertise in accompanying them give a fresh set of eyes.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah. Also, Dravik says that with just a large bandage just over his eyes. With the dull glow coming from persuasion. Sorry, I haven't pulled up my second. Persuasion. Just my rated. Oh, -1 roll here. 14.
14. That's decent. And you can see him hesitate as you present reason. Let me check with the boys. I think
You do that.
I might be able to do something for you. You might be an asset to us. You see him wander into the were-rat colony and pull aside the person who appears to be coordinating everyone. He, they have a brief conversation that you can't hear, where he's looking at you. I need an insight check.
Okay. Insight?
Yeah.
Beautiful. It'll be a 22.
Why do I let y'all roll dice? Wait. Yeah, wow. On a 22, you can see um uh the answer is gonna be no.
Mhm.
As they're talking, you can see the the coordinator he's pissed that he was asked that question. Not only that, but on a 22, you can sense there's some there's some uh amount of keeping this not just not interfered with, but unseen
Mm.
or like hush hush.
Yeah.
And as he comes back, you can see the like, sorry, uh, yeah, what's happening?
Yeah. I think as he's approaching, before the guard speaks again, I just kind of wave a hand in like recognition, like, "Yep, get it."
And
Say, "Ah, got to provide it. It won't happen again."
I'm sorry, for what it's worth.
He's playing that music.
What?
Got him.
It's so good.
It's. I'm sorry. Is this never gonna give you up? With Rickrolled. That's beautiful. I don't have Spotify Premium, so I'm not jamming out with y'all.
Okay.
I, in fact, cannot. Yeah.
Sorry. So what did the guard say?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. And I'm
It's
just
out
gonna
of line.
I'm just gonna leave rather quickly and get out of his line of sight. And I'd like to sneak into the camp.
Great. Yeah. Okay. So
I guess more specifically, I want to find one of the were rats to talk to. Either
yeah,
either some of the guys I was playing cards with the other day, or Radican.
there is a spot that y'all would know of where the rats go when there's heat. Doesn't have to be used often, but it does occasionally. Um, and there is no one there.
There's no one there.
It looks like either everyone is accounted for or people are or whoever is not accounted for is gone. Um the but there's only a handful of guards in the colony itself.
Mhm.
So checking there, I will have you go ahead and roll stealth.
Mm-hmm. Come on. It's a 19.
Kristen, what are you made of, man?
You've just given me, besides my charisma check, insight and stealth. I'm both proficient in. So
Beautiful, beautiful.
wisdom,
S
wisdom and dexterity, baby.
yeah, as you're sneaking into town, um, you're able to move past You can't find any of your like most usual drinking buddies, card tossers. Um, you can find someone you do know named Marie, and she's there's a couple people still tied down or where they were
Mm-hmm.
last night, strapped to tables and such.
Mhm.
Um,
So,
Yeah, I'll sneak in to where's Marie?
she's in. Oh, 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 hello. Uh, but sorry, I have an NPC named after your wife. Um, anyway, uh, Marie is in her home uh on her bed, tied down, hand, um, elbow, neck, and legs.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm just going to come into the room. I'm not going to do anything with the restraints. In kind of a nod of understanding of like there are guards here.
Mhm.
I'm just. Marie, what happened?
I don't know. Do you know if I, I, I don't know. I can hear guard, but
They're saying that I don't know what's happened. The whale rat's free and someone has broken loose. Do you remember anything from last night?
you know I don't.
What about when you came to this morning? Were the guards already there? Could you hear them?
Aye, the guards were there. They were. I couldn't. I could. I remember hearing a couple of screams, grunts, some sound of combat.
The guards were fighting. You?
Aye.
Do you remember perhaps when exactly this was in the morning?
No,
How long ago?
it, I don't think it was more than. Well, time's long, tied down, but can't have been more than a handful of hours. The guard don't usually take prisoners. Not with us.
Is there in her little shack? Is there windows that like boarded up windows that look out into the village? Some way that I could look out and try and get a gauge of like, are there bodies on the ground? Like, yeah, just like the state of things, even closer.
Yeah, roll me a luck check.
It's straight D20, right?
Yeah.
16. Dang.
Okay. Oh yeah. There's a window that you can look through that gets you what you need. You can see a guard, like a guard or two, sitting outside, pretty cut up.
Mhm.
The
typical like where rat like scratches and bite marks and stuff, or I guess not bite marks, but
I would need something more thorough, but it looks like
yeah.
give or take, yeah.
Yeah.
claw marks and such, probably. Yeah. Bloodied clothing. You don't see anywhere rats on the streets.
Okay. Mm. Is there another house I can get into?
Yeah. If you make me another stealth check.
Aye, Captain. Come on, baby. All right. 18.
Okay. The house that you sneak into is not occupied.
Okay.
Or there aren't guards in it. My apologies.
Okay.
There is a were-rat, and he's dead. And it's Johnny.
I'm going to go over to his body. Just take a hand over his eyes and shut them if they're not already closed. Deep sigh. A flash of anger across the face. But yeah, is there anything to examine of his body? The nature.
I would love an investigation check. We're rolling a lot of dice today. That's
All right.
exciting.
Straight roll, baby. That's a nat 20. Oh
You're
my god.
fucking kidding me. Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Oh
baby.
man.
Let's start some combat.
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause we're
Right,
out. We're out for the day.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. Your nat 20s are killing my mystery. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, his restraints are cut.
Mm.
There's you can see a wound from a short blade, right up his sternum, and um,
No worries. No.
there are
No.
yeah, it, his restraints look to have been cut with a blade, and you can tell on a nat 20 that it was a blade with a fairly clean edge.
So probably not another were-rat or.
It's unlikely. But Johnny was also known to keep his things clean and organized. So, if anyone were to have a smooth blade in the colony, it would be Johnny. But it's unlikely he would have had that on him.
And then his his restraints were cut. His body, I think I missed the part about. Is it a wound that's in his sternum?
Yeah, a wound from a short blade.
Okay, that just stabbed into. Probably is that what the guards would wield?
Give or take.
Is he? I guess I don't. A question about what were-rats is: would they revert back to their humanoid form after, like, say they die, or will they stay in whatever form that they die in?
They revert when they die.
Okay.
And it's about this time you hear a little hubbub from the guards outside.
I'll go back to a window or crack the
You
door
can-
open and peek
Yeah,
and try.
and you can see the gang having approached the were-rat colony. And I need... Does anyone think they would be able to see Dravik in the distance? Is anybody like looking deeper into the city to actively try to find things?
Tom, some of it is on my end. So where is Curse right now? Is it like I would get the thought that like he's trying not to have the group see him and him
Okay,
just in the
great.
background, but I
Then
don't
it
know
would make-
how successful he is at that. But
Then it would make a lot of sense if you're tailing them. I'm gonna say for the sake of ease that all of you know that Curse is tailing you,
fair enough.
and
Is Mac with this group too?
yep.
This is the group of like me, Teos.
Yep.
Everyone. We're all heading.
So
Well,
I'll
I
be
feel
I'll
like-
be tailing, so I wouldn't be able to see. I'm more focused on the group, and once I see the scene, then it's like well. So
Can I ask Kurt to make a stealth check, please?
Ask
Curse
what?
to make a stealth check.
Oh.
I'll be happy to make a stealth check.
Probably pretty good at it.
Eddie's terrible at those.
He's
Wow.
probably pretty good. But
The worst.
There's a natural 20, baby.
You gotta be kidding me!
Mac does not see him.
We're getting them all
Give
out
us-
now
Give us a dragon. We can win, guys. We can
Yeah.
win.
until we start actually rolling combat, and then it's gonna be one.
I need nat ones right now. Pronto.
Get him in! Get
So-
him in now!
I don't think I'm sure I don't know if anyone people know that I'm there. I'm probably the party knows that I'm around. They just don't know exactly where I am, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
If you were at the gate, I'm gonna like. That just sort of seems like our relationship. Is I know you're always there messing with me, but I don't know exactly where you are, so I just sort of assume it.
Okay. I love that relationship so much.
First.
Yeah.
The party is trying to get into the colony. They are not allowed. And
I'm
the
gonna
guard
about
are
to
the
flex
guard
my
are being-
jurisdictional muscles.
We will get to that in a sec, but on a nat 20 stealth, the guard are being obstinate. Are you going to slink through and into the colony?
I see the impasse. That is ahead of me, and knowing that the party is going to be interacting, I need to figure out a way to get in so I can rejoin them later. So I think yes, I am going to make my way around, take the long way around, and then try to get on top of something, get in a bush or something near that entrance. So then when they pop through the entrance, I'm ready to join them back again, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you get on the ground and like slither in?
Yeah, just a little.
A little cowboy hat popping up.
Yeah.
Every single one of us at once. Giving it a little. Yeah. Curse, you and Dravik are kind of standing in the same doorway, out of
Yeah.
sight and out of mind from the guards. Sorry, Dravik.
I'm just Kirk, as you're coming in, I think I'd be able to see you pretty easily. Just as you're sneaking in, and I might motion a hand for you to get into the same building.
Okay. I will see my friend, and I'll kind of slither next to the door. I unlock, I open the door, kind of gently open it up, make sure it doesn't squeak. If it does, I'll quickly open it, so it doesn't squeak, and slither my way in. What has happened here?
Curse, what has happened out there? The were rats they were freed somehow, and I show you the rope, Johnny's body, and how did you come to be here? Why is
I followed the blind warrior and his friends along, and they're about to approach the gate. So soon enough, they will be here.
But what brought you here? What is? How did you know that they have escaped?
Asked them. The blind warrior talked to the guards, and the guards told him that there were many injured individuals that came from the camp. So that's why they're here to investigate.
Well, I don't know how much more we can see, but something is freed.
Yeah.
On that note, we're gonna pivot perspective. Volton, Teos, Mac, and Little Guy. Y'all are approaching the sort of were-rat leper colony. As you do, you see guards outside. What's the angle of approach here, Volton?
I just walk in.
Oh, bold. You you hear a, what? Sorry, God business. We've got a
I assume like they step in my way. I'm like,
yeah. Eventually,
this is outside the city limits, yes, by quite a ways.
well, it's
And you
an
are the city
official-
guard, am I correct?
It's an official investigation.
Yes, you know who braves the land outside the city walls are my knights, and this population is under the protection of our order, and has been for several years now. So if you'll let me through, I'll continue with my investigation.
I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to make an intimidation check right now.
Come on.
I can't see that. What do I have for charisma?
Get it? Because he's blind.
18 on die.
My goodness.
And I'm really not trying to intimidate him. Like, I'm saying exactly what I believe.
Yes. He he looks cowed, and is looking back for backup, essentially.
The second he like turns around looking for help, I just keep walking in and gesture for everyone to follow me.
And he's giving you the, like, wait, as you're walking in.
As he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm passing him. I'm gonna like, I'm gonna look up at him, and my little mandibles are gonna like, just kind of like, I'm just kind of looking at him like all passively, and just reach him out. And the keys walking.
Mac is hanging out at the rear. He's got a book in hand, and there's a magical quill that is writing in the book that's floating in the middle of air that I'm not touching.
Very cool.
Come on.
Teos, I would like for you to make an insight check. You have a full picture of the visible guard.
One.
Yes.
There it is.
Oh,
Finally.
this should be illegal.
17 plus 4, baby.
Whew. Okay. I just have to keep giving you information. I
Right.
asked for these rolls. It's my fault. I could have just not asked for them. So, you can see somebody coordinating the guards, and your entrance here has set them scrambling a little bit. Two more guards are coming up the way to meet you here, and 3 more guards have gone elsewhere within the colony in response to y'all's entry.
I'll kind of like lean to Volton and say,
You just cut out there.
"What?
Uh-uh.
It's a little bit. There,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a little louder.
Alright, my phone keeps trying to connect to the thing for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, sorry. I'll lean on to Volton and I'll say, I know it's obvious we aren't welcome here, but I think we might be best preparing for a fight, or at least some sort of confrontation. Guards are running around and more are coming our way. We
How many
might
do
want
you
to get
see?
somewhere quick. At least 5, if not more.
They won't attack me.
I wouldn't be so sure.
That would be the biggest. Now, I'm not sure I believe this or not, but that would be the biggest political incident to hit Blingden Stone in quite literally since it was refounded several years ago. They will not attack me.
I pray that you're right, but in my experience, I have no morality to live with anyway.
And at that, the 2 guards are on y'all. And they're gonna stand in front of you guys. They're blocking your
Oh.
path.
Tom, I totally meant to ask you earlier. I totally forgot. Can I have Road Ramses here?
Yeah.
All right.
Describe
Ayo.
Ramses.
Ramses, you guys would probably, I probably would have gotten him out at the headquarters when he comes out. Ramses is a basilisk, but he's the biggest one you've ever seen in your life. Like, he's the size of a horse with like stony skin and everything. And like, you first see a basilisk and you're like, oh, avert your eyes, until you quickly realize, much like his owner, he is also blind with milky white eyes and heavily scarred and like looks just as beaten and worn down as his master.
Come on.
Dude, that's awesome.
Too good.
Ever.
So yeah, we pull up with a giant yoked blind basilisk too.
I'm right, we do.
Bro.
Which I probably would have dismounted as he came in, but I'll probably like have him by the range or something.
And Teos, you can see the coordinator speaking into a ascending stone.
Right as they're walking up, I'll end the conversation. Like they're walking up, I'll just end it by saying what I said, that I do not believe that the gnomes have any true morality, and I'll say that there are even more coming. Ascending stone's been used. We might be in for a fight.
I was gonna say with a little bit less certainty, they won't attack us. And turn to face the guards as they come.
Mac? Make me a perception or insight check, your choice. You'll get different information depending on what you choose, but
Who's doing this?
Mac specifically.
Can someone roll a dice for me, please?
I'd love to. It's 18. It's 18.
Yes.
What is your
It's
perception or insight?
perception or insight will be. Let's see. Um, 20.
Oh, which one is it?
It
Perception?
would be
I assume.
actually it's a 21. Perception's plus 3. So
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Okay. Well, Mac, it's much more faint than before. But you can, well, okay. You can see that something is not super right about these guys.
the guard specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. I would. Can I do Can I do like an investigation check or like an Arcana check to see if they're under the like some sort of like
Yeah,
illusion or like enchantment
you would
almost?
you would be able to recognize with an Arcana check. That Arcana check is going to be low. I rolled a 6.
Well, I have a plus
so
8, so that's a four. That's a 14.
14 is still pretty decent. You can't recognize. They don't look charmed, frightened, or when they're possessed, their body is kind of like jerky. It's hard for
Okay.
them to move. They're not possessed. But you can tell that something is off about them, and it puts you on edge as you're what happened in the alley is running through your mind,
Hmm.
and you're afraid.
Bolton, I'm not. I'm afraid I'm a little uncomfortable here, and I know that
No,
I haven't been here long.
no, you're afraid.
Volt, I'm afraid here. Yeah, Mac puts his hood on for sure. Just like as to re-up his guys again. And he's gonna cast Mage Armor. And so there's like a sense of a glow around him, and that which sort of fades away. And that's all he's gonna do. He's gonna continue to watch, and keep his eyes on his guards.
The guards, as you begin to cast, components for mage armor are verbal, somatic, and material. So everybody can
Indeed.
kind of see you casting a spell at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see an instinctive reach toward the hip. And then as nothing happens, it cools down a little.
Okay.
But they're on edge.
Okay.
So 2 guards approach y'all. Volton and Teos, I assume, are walking at the front of this sort of situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Morning, Mr. Lasarius.
Good morning. Just here on investigation, order business.
Well, I fear we're also here on investigation.
That's no
And-
problem. I have no issue with cooperation. I'm just here to get to the bottom of things. I'll tell you what I know if you tell me what you know. We all want to put this ugly business behind us, do we not?
Right. You can see him take a brief look back at the coordinator, and they exchange a glance, and then he continues. For the continued safety of the crime scenes and their preservation, we'll need just a handful of minutes Won't be in your hair too long. Our investigation here is almost concluded.
Allow me to assist. I'm only here to help. Might I speak with your sergeant, captain? Who's in charge here?
He nods at whoever is clearly in charge here. You don't like. You've probably seen his face, but don't really like recognize him.
Mhm.
So the coordinator comes up. Boy, gentlemen, what seems to be the trouble?
There is no trouble as far as I'm aware, unless there's trouble on your end. Just merely here, outside the city walls, where the Order does the majority of their work on Order business, hoping to look out for the safety of the city and the were-rats.
Well, that's very fine of you. You're a good man, Fulton. I'll be through the investigation in a matter of minutes.
As will I. And I'm just gonna just keep going. I will at this point. Sort of my shield is starting to get it dropped down from my shoulder, and it's like I'm walking within my arm, in my hand and stuff. And I definitely am keeping a hand on my belt, but not as inconspicuous as that's possible to be. But my flail's hanging there.
Yeah. Dravik and Curse.
Mhm.
Y'all are snuck in back. Someone is moving toward the house that you're occupying. They haven't seen you yet, and you have a split second before they do. What happens in that second?
What kind of build are we? 2-story building, 1-story building, windows? What are we talking
It's
here?
a 1-story shack. Curse, having not been here, it may have a basement. You can see one door to one other room in the house.
Okay, I'm going to go to Dravik and go. So, are we attacking or we are being stealthy?
I just lean in, ready, and I'm gonna ready my action to take
Okay.
this guy out.
I'm going to
Okay.
use my bonus action to get as close as I can to the door, like where it opens. Actually, no, the other way. I'm gonna go on the hinge side of the door, so it's gonna open like this.
Mhm.
And
One sec.
yep.
Who did he say the guards were about to see you guys, or our party was about to see you guys?
Mm.
Guard.
I thought he didn't say. Just there's
Okay.
something approaching.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, Curse is going to stand where the door would open inward. He is going to stand on the hinge side, and he will grab from his cloak, grab behind, and will grab a arched weapon, a sickle, from his weapon, and face it away from the door, ready to attack.
Okay, so you two are both preparing to run this guard's pockets?
If you mean
I'm prepared-
slices legs, yes.
I'm prepared. I'm prepared. Basically, grapple him and knock him unconscious.
Like a stealth takedown in Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was thinking Batman Arkham, but similar
Oh,
situations.
Just like a mix of both, you know.
Very similar gameplay experiences.
Mhm.
Yeah, honestly.
So, Uh, well, yeah. Dravik, I'm going to have you roll to grapple first. As the guard enters, moves through the door, sees y'all. Does he have a chance to cry out before he is silenced?
Is there one or
I
two
would not.
guards?
I would not like
Uh,
him.
Forgive me. Actually, grappling is he rolls the grapple now, not you. How exciting.
Which is
Um,
contested
I have,
athletics.
to hit, I have to hit with an unarmed strike.
Oh yeah, that's so
Oh, if you
odd.
get unarmed, yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. I believe.
Is there one or two guards, DM?
There's one guard coming
Okay.
toward y'all.
Okay. Immediately when he enters, I'm going to close the door.
Okay, gotcha.
18 to hit.
You don't have to roll to hit.
Oh, I don't for grapple. With the
Correct.
new-
But he rolled high. Yeah, he is not gonna be grappled by you.
Oh, grapple. Okay, hold on. All right.
So he's going to make a strength saving throw against the grapple.
It's just an
DC
athletics check, is all it is.
Right, for you,
Not
one
with the new
D&D.
rule.
Oh, all right. I did not know that. There you go.
Right. So he is going to pass a strength saving throw against a DC of 8 plus your strength plus your proficiency. I'm
Plus-
assuming strength.
Plus my dexterity, actually, as a I can add that instead as a monk.
Excellent. It is an 18. So I think he's gonna pass that.
Let me look.
Uh,
8 plus proficiency plus 10 plus. Yeah, for sure.
As you attempt to bind him, he is able to kind of shove you off and is opening his mouth. And with that, Curse, I have a really interesting question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going for the kill, or are you trying to knock this guy unconscious?
Do I close the door? That would be the question number one.
You can, like, push the door closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's okay if it's vocal at that point, because if I'm going to prioritize.
So the windows here don't have panes.
Okay, so they're gonna hear regardless of what happens. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. So it does not matter. So, do I get the intention? It's pretty obvious that my companion is not not going for the kill, right?
Probably. He tried to grapple.
Okay. So I'm going to after pushing the door aside, getting right in front of him, I'm going to take his chest, like take his sleeve right here, get him really close, eye to eye, and my eyes, my bloody red eyes, are going to slightly swirl purple. I need him to make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh.
You need him to what?
Ooh.
Actually, 14.
Gosh, darn it. DC 13. Oh, as I say, silent and be still. As I attempt to cast suggestion on him. But obviously
As you
it
say,
fails.
silent and be still, he begins to move erratically and shout.
No, makes sense. I'm not going to attempt to grapple. That whole grapple thing is just to get to his face. And now I'm assuming it goes door, myself, him, Dravik, I think.
Do you have the knife in your hand, or the short
I do
sword
have a
in your
sickle.
hand?
I do have a sickle in my other hand.
Okay. What are you doing with that sickle at this time?
At the moment, it's like resting like on my side right now, but depending on what he's doing, I'm slashing.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Roll
Then,
initiative.
as y'all are moving into town, or into the little, what have you, uh, you can hear the beginnings of someone deep in the colony uh, screaming.
I'm gonna wait for the reaction of the guards, I guess.
The guards immediately coalesce on it. They are moving toward that.
I'm gonna follow them and sort of like, oh, there's a threat that's not us versus them. We can sort of like, oh, the great unifiers, the unknown sort of thing, and
Very
run with
good.
them towards the threat.
Question.
Yeah.
Is it? Would I be able to see where the guards have been spending the most attention? Like, is there a house? Is there a place that the guards have been like invested? Like, would I, if I like, we're walking in, we're like looking at this scene, looking at everything around. Is there a place that I'd be able to tell? Something says to me that that might be the place that they don't want me to go. Because
If
while
there were-
everything's happening, I'm gonna go there.
If there were such a place, its defining quality would be that you had not seen people leaving it. So that's the trouble, is you probably wouldn't have seen.
In anything? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, instead of running, can I hop on Ramses and start to bound forward on him?
Yeah, absolutely. And with
so
that,
we
you can
lead on
outpace
the
them.
guards.
Yeah. So on Ramses, bounding through the streets, you just hop clear over top of the guards that were not assailing you per se, but anyway, you are making your way through, entering this building where you hear screams. Dravik and Curse. The guard pulls a cudgel. What are y'all doing?
I'm ready to slash, but
Okay.
I don't know, Dravik, what are your thoughts?
I do not want him to see my face
Okay.
or know. I'm in a heavy cloak right now, with the hood up, but
I'm gonna slash his throat here. Am I like? I'm going to do that if you're not doing anything.
yeah,
Okay, great.
I think you should go first.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take my action and slice with my sickle. That would be a dirty 20 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
This would be with a regular sickle. I use a D6 for this. This is sneak attack? No, it's not. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. I forgot to put in my dex mod for that. Cool. So that is 4, 5, 10, 13 points of slashing damage as I go whoosh. As well as Sickle has Nick, which has a bonus action kind of thing. I have no idea how it works, but I'd like to use it.
Do you have the weapon mastery?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Rogue, get a couple.
That second hit will be a 10.
Okay.
Does that hit?
A 10 will not hit.
Okay, that's fine. So I slice
not-
once and then come back the other way, and it doesn't miss. It doesn't hit.
Yeah. Okay. He is well bloodied. If he takes another hit, he will probably die.
Okay.
And Dravik, are you gonna?
I'd like to take the haft of the butt of my spear and just pop in the head to try and knock him unconscious.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me an attack roll.
That is 22 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
Nice.
And you're able to knock him unconscious.
Great.
He has fresh bleeding wounds from near his throat. So it will be. What are you gonna do with the body? As Volton, you arrive in time to see Dravik and Curse having just felled a guard.
I'm dragging him over to where Johnny's body is, and I'm gonna put. I'm gonna use my nails are pretty jagged,
Yeah.
and I'm going to put a couple more like scratches that are a little fresh too. In
Yeah.
this guard, and then you say bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hi, Sarah. Bye, Ruth.
Have a good day.
I'll see you later. Put a couple more fresh ones in there, and I'm going to drape Johnny's hand over this guard's throat.
Okay.
and I'm also
Do I see this?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other guards are closing.
Yeah, I'm also I tell Kirsty like we're getting out right now, and then I take this is it a short sword that the other guard had? Short blade.
He had a cudgel.
I'm going to put it partway into a wound. Of Johnny.
In his throat.
And not in his throat or sternum, but just like make a little new one, something like that.
Okay, great.
And I'm gonna get out.
I'm gonna, seeing this, I'm gonna like pull up on Ramses, jump off, and like, I'm gonna stand in the doorway and like block you. What have you done? And but then seeing can I see, is the guard still breathing? Like, is he technically alive?
Yes, he is living.
I'm
but
gonna
he's
run
losing
up.
blood
and-
quickly.
I figure my whole body is bandaged. I probably have some extra bandages on me, and try and bandage his bandage his wounds.
Make me a medicine check to stabilize him.
17.
17 will succeed. Yeah, you're able to get that bandaged, start applying pressure as the other guards pull up on the door.
And
Yeah,
as like I assume maybe you guys just run. Like I was gonna try and block you, but I tried to save the guard instead.
I'm
just like
going.
cursing at you under my breath, like, "What? Do you have any idea what you've done?"
I just look with like. We're going out the window, first of all. Like the other way, opposite of where everyone else is coming, God willing. And I look, and I just shake my head, like in very, like solemn acceptance and like regret, and my like, you can see through the cowl of the hood. There's like a bandage that's already like fallen away from whatever I used to block my eyes, and there's just like two dull, purple glows coming from there, and yeah, just like a regret. And then I just leave. No words.
I will follow him immediately with saying, no, wrong place, wrong time. As he kind of guilts himself. And then he will also follow him. And then once we get out the door, Curse will go, this get out. And we'll guidance him.
Make me a luck check to roll, or to for you and Dravik to clear before one of the guards gets here.
Yep. That's 15 on die.
Okay. Yeah, Dravik and Curse, you are able to leave the building before the guard arrives.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Volton, you are alone in the room with uh, having clearly bandaged the body. The Ramses is chilling outside. The guards walk in, and presumably with them, Volton, Mac, or sorry, Mac, Teos, little guy, and the other guards. They. This whole situation has people rather on edge.
Yeah.
Um. Phew. The supervisor among the guards comes in, is clearly like dumbstruck for a moment by like what just happened here, and says, "These fucking were-rats."
It was not were-rats.
I need somebody to make another insight check. Alright. Teos, what is it?
I think Volton's doing it.
Okay, I believe you.
13.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. He looks a little surprised. What do you mean? Who did it, if not?
There were two of them. Dravik, Kars, do you know them?
Dravik and Curse are out the window. They are not in the building.
Well, yeah, no, I'm telling him his name. The names, like, asking like he knows who they are.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I thought you were addressing them. Whoa.
Kars, he seems like the sort, but Dravik, I would not have expected him to get involved in this sort of business. But I don't know why.
I don't know, Dravik. Curse, I mean, he's constantly at the tavern. Good for nothing.
Your guard's still alive. I have him bandaged.
Well, I'm glad for that.
Well, if there's nothing else, then I'll be going now. I'm gonna gently lay the guard back down if he's stable. You'll take care of him. He's your man. And I'm going to try to exit the room.
Okay. You can tell you tried really hard to get here. Like you really like you made efforts to get in here unimpeded and are immediately leaving.
Well, unless there's
And-
anything else of interest in the room.
There is a were-rat's body. And you know, now a guard's unconscious, but not dead form.
Yeah, I've discovered the source of the disturbance, and the problem has been at least temporarily resolved. I'm gonna head out.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, feel free. But his eyes are kind of on you as you begin to leave. So, is everybody leaving with Volton?
There's a door, right?
Yeah.
Open the door.
Oh, yeah. There's a side room. It's like a little poker table set up. The cards have been, though they look well worn, they're quite well maintained, stacked neatly. There's no box for them, but they're all like.
Is there anything else
Mac
of
is
interest
gonna
in the room?
Mac is gonna go back to the doctor dude who's talking about mushrooms, and he seems like the only academic person, and he wants to go find a book about were rats, as I have to go officially.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Hi, Dan.
These guys.
See ya.
But
Good
I-
luck.
So
Okay. Whoa.
Is there anything else of interest in the side room?
There's a pantry that's full of, well, full is a bit of a stretch. There is food in the pantry. Nothing super of note in this house. It looks like the kind of home a poor person would keep. Though, you know, painstakingly well organized.
As I leave, I'm gonna. Go ahead.
No, you first.
So as we leave, I'm gonna whisper to lean over to Esme. They're all distracted here. Now's our chance. Let's investigate the rest of the town.
Yeah.
I'm going. We're super sleuthing.
Okay,
Alright.
awesome.
We're super sleuthing.
Yeah. I would love for a group investigation check to happen. That's everybody here, well, that is Lil Guy, Volton, and Teos are all gonna roll an investigation check in the interest of bringing up the average and maintaining verisimilitude. I'm gonna roll for Mac as well.
17.
I got 14.
Owen, do you want to? Nice. Okay. Okay. Little guy, you're following along, as you are wont to do. Volton and Teos. Teos, there are a couple of were-rats dead. Including the one that you found. Including the one you found in the other building where you found the injured guard. There are 3 were-rats dead. One of them is slumped in the corner of a room. And there are signs of a scuffle in that house. One is laid down like in the middle of a room. And obviously the one in the other building was just like on his bed, tied down. Or well, not tied down, but yeah. All of the bodies look like they're at least a couple of hours old. And the one you said you got a 17, Teos?
Yep.
You'd have noticed that there's blood on the beds invariably. But
Um,
that there were, except in the room where there were signs of a scuffle.
would I? Sorry. Would I be able to know the blood? Would I do where? What color was the blood? Do where rats? And what, I guess would I know
Where rats
what a
bleed
where
red.
rat bleeds? Where rats bleed red. Okay. Was the blood red at least?
It was, most of the blood is pretty dry.
Mm-hmm.
Not old yet, not
Mhm.
dark, but
Mhm.
like dry.
But it all appears to be red, so it most likely is
Yes.
nothing out of the ordinary. No, like purple or green or
Yeah,
something
nothing
clearly out of the
nothing-
ordinary. Okay.
Um, yeah. Do y'all have any other question? Like, what are y'all investigating as you look through here?
I'm just trying to look for like what the guards don't want us to find. Like obviously, where rats broke out. Guards that yeah, guards had to fight them or something. Is there any sort of like something that seems out of the ordinary of what I would already expect to have happened?
The restraints on the rat that broke out are the rope is like split. It looks like it was torn.
Not cut.
Correct. And that's the room where there were signs of a struggle. In the other, there are not, there aren't, in the room where there are not signs of a struggle, the body is laying in the middle of the floor. It looks like the restraints in that room were cut.
And there's bodies, both were rats and guards here, or just the were rats?
There are no guard bodies, but they did mention that Tandrick had Tandrick at least had gone missing.
Okay. I suppose I probably wouldn't know where the were rats would go to hide. But
There, you do notice the colony. You haven't been here a lot,
mhm.
but you remember a lot more. Like there were close to 24, and it looks like there are scarcely a dozen here
All right.
now.
I suppose as best I can with my blind sight, and look for, which for short range probably better. Look for any blood tracks or tracks that like clearly seem to be would indicate people left the area who have been involved in
Yeah,
a fight
yeah.
or wounded or anything like that.
Yeah, okay. Um,
I'll 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 mention that idea to the others in the group too. To look for anyone who left, tracks, blood trails, anything like that.
yeah. Anyone who wants to make a perception, survival, or investigation check, all those would be fine for this.
23.
14, 18.
What are you made of, Jaden? What's going on? Okay. You can, so of the blood trails out there, you can see that a couple lead outside the room to where the guards were resting. The guards that like had been visibly scraped up. Yeah. So there's that. There are no other blood trails that you notice.
So nothing that leaves the settlement.
No. Well, there like no, not really.
Or foot
Uh,
trails or anything. Okay.
Obviously, like some of the guards walked a little outside, but not substantially.
I'll admit, I assume we'll want to reconvene. I'm a little bit at a loss as to where to go from here.
As am I.
The guards are beginning to exit the house where the last where the wounded guard is. He's in tow, conscious now. There are still plenty of bystanders you could talk to if you wished. Just over a dozen. Most of them are in their homes, but
Oh, by like the were-rats who live here?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know. I thought they were all gone. I
No,
did not realize.
my apologies. They are. The town is substantially emptier than usual, but there are some still.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna see if there's. I mean, if there's anyone I recognize, I'm gonna talk to them. Pull them
Uh,
aside.
there's a Volton sees a lot of faces, in a day, but you would recognize a couple of them, probably not by name,
Yeah.
but there would be at least some amount of rapport with you being a public figure, the order being a known factor for good.
Probably about. All right. Actually, I'm gonna try and discreetly to ask them to like all gather in one place so I can talk to them as a group.
Interesting.
Without the
Okay.
guards.
So, are you telling one were-rat to gather the group of them later?
Just as soon as we can, just find a house to talk in.
Okay. Then
And ask them
have
like if
the guards
anyone's unaccounted for or anything like that.
yeah. So they're yeah. I will have you make a persuasion check in place of the were-rat who's gonna like go around and tell everybody.
13.
Okay. There are 7 were-rats in this like who have convened in this building. A lot of them are looking scared. Um like really, it's always tense the night after a full moon, especially so when there's a loss. But this is unprecedented, and it's shaking people up.
Is this everyone who's still here? Is anyone missing, unaccounted for?
Well, there's somebody steps up who you can recognize in the way that other people look at him that he's a a respected figure in this colony. Says there are a lot unaccounted for. I've been trying to I've been trying to get numbers, but the guards aren't so forthcoming.
How many of there were you before this happened?
22.
And now there's 7?
Well, there are
7
There
here.
are others that we didn't reach out to. There are others that don't generally leave there. And there are others who are anxious because of. And you can see guards kind of peering in the window and talking among themselves.
So what exactly happened? Did any of you see? Who got out first?
We don't maintain our memories when we're, you know, transformed.
Well, that does make things difficult.
But what I know is that there are at least 2 dead, and that others are unaccounted for. And there are several others unaccounted for. Right now, I know of 4.
When we were sort of going around the town and stuff, we're like, how many bodies would we have seen of locals?
Yes, 3 were-rats are dead.
So we've got confirmed 3 there.
Yeah.
So there's up to 12 missing then. If the 7 in this room, 3 dead, there's 12 unaccounted for.
Give or take. And
are there any houses or buildings that have not been opened and searched?
No. But there are some who won't leave their houses right now. We know that there are at least 10 still with us.
Oh, okay. Question. Just like, so a were-rat. I'm assuming this is something that turns into a rat, correct?
Yeah.
So what are they when they're not a were-rat?
This is a group of Svirfnebli, all deep gnomes.
Okay. Sweet, thank you. So I will kind of get down on like a knee to be still probably like a head taller than them. And just kind of say, in Gracostu, when we were avoiding persecution, we often went and found places to hide, to celebrate together or to be together, away from prying eyes. I know that this colony is not well liked by many, and for that I apologize, and I'm very, very greatly sorry for that. Is there a place that you have that you'd be willing to share with me, that you have to go, that perhaps some of your friends might have gone, when things started to go south?
We've checked. I'd be willing to show you to it, but we've looked in the tunnel and no one is there.
Understood.
May I ask, was anyone here when the incident occurred? Were the guards already here?
Well,
Was anyone present who should not have been here?
When we woke up, they were here.
Ah, yes,
They said that one of us had broken our restraints and that there was. It's
Not
funny. They're
within
not.
hours after the incident occurred, though.
Yes.
And do you believe them?
It's hard to.
Well, unless there's anything more you can tell us, let's go talk to the others. See
What's
if we...
getting at me is that they're usually not around. Even no one's broken their restraints in years, but usually when they do, nothing happens.
We noticed on the restraints that some of them were cut. I believe that this was not an accident, and I believe you've been targeted for some purpose. What that is, we do not know yet, but I suggest maybe going to that place that no one knows about, at least for some time, to stay safe.
You can ask Dravik about the Exodus plan. He'll know where we're
Whoa.
going.
Where is Dravik, actually? I have an idea.
Oh,
He was here.
well, he was.
I suppose.
He's
Did you see him?
he's usually here in the morning to wake us and cut our restraints. But obviously, this morning was different.
Might you show us to your hideaway?
It won't be safe for many of us to travel. I worry that if any of us try to leave, the guards will, be.
You will be under our protection and that of the entire order.
All right. Then are we to go publicly, or?
Yes, if we try to hide, they will think we have something to hide. We are merely evacuating refugees from the scene of a conflict, as we have done many times in the past.
Okay. I'll rouse the others.
Very well.
I have a quick point of order question. I meant to ask and I forgot. When in the room with the scuffle,
Yeah.
that was the room where they were torn, right?
Yeah.
Not cut.
Correct.
But there was only one dead body in there.
Yes.
Okay. Did it? Did it appear that, like, on the scuffle, was it a lot of? Did it appear to be like just claw marks? Did it appear that there was a weapon involved? I'm trying to think if perhaps there was multiple, if maybe a were-rat was possessed at all. If the conflict appeared to be between multiple were-rats or a were-rat and another party. Because we already know that at least one other party was involved who was able to cut the restraints. Obviously, a were-rat wouldn't have been able to cut them.
Yeah, it's like werewolves team up when they're like that, like right, like they don't fight each other.
Were
Like, they don't
rats.
just-
Anyone who knows anything about were rats, and Volton, you would know a little. Teos, you probably wouldn't, but would have access to that information through others.
Yeah.
Were rats are not social. They are. They don't cooperate. They're pretty much just like gonna.
Are they like immediately hostile to each other, like they would be like just a random person who walks in?
They are. Yeah, they don't discriminate in that way. And it would definitely be out of character for them to cut a restraint rather than getting a free meal.
Yeah.
Okay. As this fellow is kind of buzzing around, getting other people. Dravik, where are you and Curse going?
I'm following you.
You would know of the tunnels.
Right. I know they're empty because I checked those first, right? Before I came to the camp. But I want to think that I would have recognized that there weren't as many were rats as I think there should be, but I only went to 2 houses, so I don't know.
I'll say Marie was living with another were-rat who was not present.
Uh, I would like to go back to the tunnels, partially because one, I don't know when the heck I'm. Yeah, I don't know what's up in the air. I don't know if anybody recognized me. The fact that I saw Fulton is another thing to deal with. I need to talk to him. So I think that we're just gonna head to the tunnels, and I want to like do a very thorough investigation just to try and see if like, yeah, anything around there gives hint to like possibly where some of these missing were rats have been going.
Okay.
I don't want to go back to the city yet. I don't want to go back to my house. I feel too under pressure. I'm a little freaked out, to be honest.
Okay. There so as always, you see several days worth of packaged food for a handful of people. None of it looks particularly appealing to you, but it's food, and it'll get you by. Curse, as you're following Dravik, these were-rats have a secret, like, getaway tunnel. Presumably for smuggling. I think is the...
Yeah. He's gonna be more of the like he knows he's not in his hometown. Like he knows that like this is a new location for him. He may have visited, but like
Yeah.
he knows that I'm just following. He knows Dravik is the person that he feels that he, Dravik will get him to a safer location, fast and efficiently. Um,
Yeah.
so that is the reason why he continues, and his thoughts are very much to himself because he's a lot of it is just visually looking around, just seeing things, and just seeing where things are and absorbing information at this point. But as I see that Dravik is panicked and that kind of thing, um, uh, Curse will simply just simply say, "Let me know when you need my help, and I will be happy to do so." And he will cast guidance for whatever because
Yeah. Dravik looks back. Maybe for the first time you actually see a little bit of his face without his kind of bandana over his eyes on.
mhm.
Uh, you can see a little bit in the shadows. His eyes are glowing, purple, dully, not like super bright. There's like a little more shadow around his face than there should be, like
Mhm.
in his eye sockets. Maybe where his eyes should be, it just looks like glowing dots. But you can see, yeah. I think I'll just nod in appreciation. Thank you, Curse. I'm just shaken. That's all. A lot of things have just happened. I didn't expect. Have you spent any time in the Underdark? Curse, in the wild of the Underdark?
Most of my time has been in the city. Very minimal. At the very beginning, I was in the wilderness, just like anyone else. But once I found my home, um, once I found my home in Bringdenstone, I stayed there because of safety and because of comfort. So,
You were
um,
well to be safe there.
mhm, mhm.
tell you, it's kill or be killed out there, and something inside me awakened again after these years. I'm sorry to drag you into it. We shouldn't have attacked.
Don't be. I was the curious one, and I get stepped too far. Apparently, I'm in it for now, so we'll see how far this rabbit hole goes. And as he says that, he will take his hat off and bring up his hood and kind of mimic what you are doing and put his hat away, just to be a little bit more kind of a little bit more in the background here instead of with his very obvious hat. Let's continue.
We're going to hunt were-rats. Wascally were-rats.
He will get out. When you say hunt, he will grab his first deck of cards number 1, and you see, in the moonlight, you'll see this flash. Of these cards aren't made of paper; they're made of metal. And he's like, "I'm ready when you are."
Ravik.
We're going on a were-rat hunt. We're going on a were-rat hunt.
Can't go over it. Can't go under it. We have to go.
Skull.
You can see in the distance glowing eyes. 8 in various colors, and 1 larger and bright red.
Like they're all together, or
The 8 are sort of circled around the 1. And you hear a voice. You seek answers to know what happened. The eyes are getting closer to you.
Curse, are you seeing this?
Am I seeing it?
Absolutely not.
Okay. He'll stare into the dark void and go, "Other than black, no."
I see. And if you seek vision, you go completely blind. Yes. And after a moment, you regain sight, and it's like the world is blinding to you for a moment.
Immediately, one card comes up, and Curse is ready to throw. Like, looking around, actively looking.
As that happens, as the moment he went blind, you could see the light, that the sort of pinpricks of light that are his eyes, go out for a moment and then spark back to life.
Are you okay?
Do I still see the eyes?
No.
Okay. What? I run down to the end where I first saw the eyes.
And as you do, you can see the city from there, or the colony, and many, for a moment, only many eyes. But as you regain your focus, you can see people. Were-rats. Lots of them. In the street. And Volton, Teos, Little Guy and Mac preparing to leave. All of the were-rats, Volton, you could see preparing. They all had in their possession a small bag that was packed and ready.
Yeah, bug out bag. Yeah.
They're in the street. The guard have stopped you.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Well, there are 6 guards at this time, and there are 4 of you and 13 were-rats.
I'm on Ramses at the front of the column, and we're escorting refugees from here. Please step aside.
Where to, may I ask?
Does not matter to they have their own homes. This is not the
These-
city. This is not your jurisdiction.
They are fugitives in the midst of an investigation.
You're right, and I'm investigating them. They are under the protection of the Order and have been for years.
Make an insight check.
Another one.
When he says
one.
that,
Another one.
I would like to say that I've been walking and using my glaive as a walking stick.
Badass.
Just just might as well.
That's not great. Another 13.
Okay. This is a look that you would recognize well enough. He knows that this isn't his business and that he doesn't have anything to say to you. But he wants to stop you with something. But he doesn't have anything.
Is this really worth it? Ramses. Yeah. Ramses gonna start to trudge forward.
And you will, toward the tunnels. As you find the tunnels, you find Dravik. Dravik is greeted warmly by a number of the were-rats. Dravik, just so you know, you recognize 9 gone. Among them are Johnny and Scratch. Bulgur is still among them, as big and beefy as ever, but substantially less happy.
Yep.
It's a tense situation and it's taking its toll.
Do I see? Does Curse see Volton?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so immediately when he sees Volton, Curse will put his cards away, tighten up his hood, and I know, like, he's going to hunch down as low as he can and trying to be amongst the crowd. And I know it probably won't work very well, but he understands that he understands that he can't go deeper in because he doesn't know where he's going, and the other way's blocked, so he's kind of pinned where he's at. So he wants to be within the crowd, kind of trying to.
Well,
So, like,
unless you're within 10 feet of me, I have no idea you're there. I just assume there's people.
Yes,
So.
and I don't know that, but we're just gonna play it as he's gonna do the whole. He's trying to do the whole Assassin's Creed hide in the crowd kind of thing, but I don't know if it'll work.
Yeah, absolutely. Teos, you can probably see him clear as day. Volton, he's too darn far away from you.
Yeah, I probably do, but I'll be honest, I just don't care. Like, my only interactions with Curse have been I almost killed him because he was sneaking around. I show up and hear Volton say that Curse almost killed someone. So my kind of assumption is I'm not the biggest fan of this guy, and if he starts something, I'll kill him. But if he doesn't, I'll let him be.
Okay, so
As
do
we get there,
you? Mhm.
hoping you guys are here. I'm actually going to call out Bravik, Kurz, if you're here. I need to talk to. I'll
I'm-
overlook what happened earlier, at least for now. I have a plan.
Curse will
I'm
stand
gonna-
straight, like stand normally.
I'm gonna greet all of the were rats, and yeah, just like check them over. Kind of some some tough dad love kind of.
None of them have any visible damage or injury.
Yeah,
Not a scrape.
I'm within 10 feet of you already, Volton, and I'm going to just like walk slowly up. Volton, I appreciate the plan. I want to hear it, but there's no need to overlook. I truly am sorry. It should not have gone so far. I don't know what came over me. I just saw Johnny's body, and I didn't know what to do about it. The anger. So I'm sorry.
It's not me you need to apologize to. Your rage is understandable, but misplaced. I will not pretend to not understand. Might I say, the God are clearly hiding something.
Aye.
Kurz might actually be of use here.
What was did you say? Might actually be.
He said-
Kurz
Kurz
might
might
finally be of
actually be of
use
use.
here.
First, you hear him say that.
Yeah, he kind of
Yeah,
just
I'm not
goes,
letting it.
how?
Cursor, you're useful enough. Don't worry.
The God clearly don't want anyone to know what happened. They clearly know what happened. We say one of you were there tonight. That's believable. Say that you know what happened. You witnessed everything. We're taking you back to question you. That will force their hand. If it's something they will hide, they'll have to force it. Kurz, you're an excellent liar.
Frick, man.
I've been in jail once before. I can get out again.
Is that a lie? Only once?
I said more than once before.
What do you say? Maybe make up for some of your past iniquities. It will probably be risky. They will probably try and stop you, but you will get again be under the custody of the Order.
As long as the order is off my back, just ever so slightly, yes, I will join.
At that, first in your head, you hear, "What's jail like?" And as you like turn to look, see where that voice comes from, like you look to your left, you don't see anyone. You look to your right, you don't see anyone. Then you look back, and then you notice that, just almost as if I materialized out of thin air, I am right next to you.
Okay.
On your left side.
Who are you?
Little guy.
I see that.
Nice to meet you. And of course, I mostly when I'm out and about, like I'm defaulting to I always have like my hood up and like I have my extra appendages like put away because people think because I feel a little self-conscious about it, but not really. Like I think it's fine, but I think other people don't like it. So like when I say I'm little guy, I'm looking at you, my mandibles are like trying to talk to you, but they don't just make weird insect noises. At the same time, I reach out with 2 arms.
Curse, do you, depending on how good your memory is, you might recall him basically being Mac's shadow through the whole, like, kerfuffle in the alleyway?
This creature looks familiar. It's strange how he talks, but yes, I would remember him. And I shake his hand, kind of like I'll grab both of the hands
Okay, that
in
was my
one.
next question. Is like, which hand are you shaking? You're shaking both of them.
Both.
Lovely.
Like I pick the bottom one up, scoop it up to the top one, and then I shake.
I appreciate that actually.
It's gonna be their new secret
And-
handshake.
Yeah, and then Chris will take down the hood, put back on the hat, the cowboy hat, and get ready to go.
So
As you put your
you're-
your cowboy hat on, I look at it, and you can just tell my eyes get wide. Like I've never seen that before.
One of the were rats is like a tween or like a teen boy, and he's been eyeing little guy this whole time. Like, bro, there's this sick bug dude.
this bug.
Bro,
Vulcan, I like your plan. Koso, you fine with it. You might be the best one for the job.
So, do you have like fake handcuffs for me, or what's the plan?
In the closest thing you've ever seen to a smile or almost a huff of laughter from Volton, which is extremely uncharacteristic, he was already reaching into Ramsey's saddlebags. I thought you'd never ask. And just pull out a length of rope.
let's go.
And he starts to stride towards you and
Uh,
very roughly, like you're actually getting arrested, kind of yank his hands behind your back.
before giving you like allowing you to do that, he will grab his sickle and flip it so he's handling the blade, give it to you, Volton, and go, I want this back, blind man. And you'll hand over my sickle over to you. And then
Can
he'll
I
tie himself up.
attempt-
Or
Can I
you,
actually
Timmy.
attempt to like grab that during the interaction? The sickle.
Fine.
Like.
Yeah.
Sure.
That,
Like, as he hands it to me, try and grab it.
yes.
I'm...
Like pulling it by the blade, like you're like,
Like.
Puppies.
So like even if you would like it the grip loosens as someone grabbed it and goes, it looks at you and goes, I will see you again. You're pretty easy to see. Goes ahead.
I pulled the rope a little too tight for your comfort, and sort of push an arm into your back.
I will.
All right, are we ready?
I will, with sleight of hand, I will grab one metal card and slip it right here on my forearm before I
Nice.
go, and then so it's there.
Yeah.
I definitely see that, but I'm gonna let you do that.
Okay.
Remember, don't tell. You haven't actually, obviously, as far as I know, you haven't actually seen anything, but you must make them think that you have.
Sounds good.
Reveal nothing. Only act suspicious. That shouldn't be too hard.
So you're saying act like myself?
Yes. Are we ready?
Or are we all going with? We're leaving the were-rats here.
The
No one else-
were-rats have finished now, packing up. There were like crates of food and a cart, and like supplies for a journey in these tunnels. So they have finished assembling those.
I won't
Uh,
ask where they're going, but I will reach out and say, if you never ever need anything, you're back near Blingdenstone, reach out to Sister Caitlin. I know she is on good terms with you.
Yeah.
Are they going on the Exodus?
They are and
I want to talk to Bulger before they head off anyway. So
yeah, actually there's one named Gribben who is the fellow that they were talking to. He's not like in charge, but is
more of a leader.
a young man of good repute,
Mhm.
who, you know, he has a knack for organizing and for getting people together, and he strides up to you. He says, Dravik,
Okay.
you're a good man. It's hard to leave you.
Where,
I don't know how long we'll be. I think we may plan to return, but we'll consider that not public knowledge, and it won't be probably for the next month or two.
stay safe out there. Wherever you go.
Doesn't seem terribly likely.
As safe as you can. I know
Right.
that the dark is a dangerous place, so y'all are a family. Just make sure to stick together. Will you go find the lost ones?
Mm. Use well.
Right.
Clasp on the shoulder, and he begins to kind of see the 13 of them off, for a time.
As we start to approach the town, I'm gonna tell Kurz one more if they try to interrogate you, just an idea. Tell them you'll only speak to the Order as you expect more mercy from them. That seems like a reasonable excuse. As to why we're taking you and not turning you over to the Guard.
Okay. So we have, just so I know what your plan is, we've got Curse bound up. He's tied. He, of course, has a bit of an ace up his sleeve. And
But bunch.
so y'all are planning to have him questioned, or at least
we're gonna bring him through like we obviously caught something. The Guard is gonna come and speak to us. So I'm gonna tell him what the situation is. That we caught Kurz. He saw everything. Like he knows exactly what happened. Then they're probably gonna try to talk to him. They'll be like, "I'm only gonna talk to the Order because you guys are probably gonna mess me up. Dare show me mercy." Then they'll believe that we know exactly what happened. So they either want to try and, if it's something they want hidden, it's gonna force their hand one way or the other. And if it's something they're fine with getting out, they'll let us go.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So y'all are headed up to the guards.
Pass back to the crime scene, yeah.
Yeah, okay. As y'all are walking back through the colony, most of the guards have left it now. There are still 3 kind of it looks like they're getting things cleaned up.
Is their commander still here?
Yeah.
I'm hoping they approach and ask what's going on. I suppose I'll keep walking. There's no reason for me to bring it up.
He actually just gives you an angsty look as you walk past. That's all that really happens that way.
Curse will, as he's walking, his head is down, and he'll look to see that there's no vocal interaction. So Curse is going to plant his front foot forward, and push backwards, and creating a shoving motion on whoever is detaining me, creating a scene.
There you go.
Volton, right in front of the other guards, he bucks and tries to lose himself. What do you do?
Wait, I imagine I'm on Ramses at the front. I assume I would say Teos is probably
I'm probably have him.
manhandling hers.
Yep.
I'm just gonna whip Ramses around. Don't let him get away.
I did not do anything. And
I'll smack him on the back of the head.
Perfect.
That's
The
your
cowboy
song.
hat will fall.
Everything.
The cowboy hat will fall. He'll look at it and go, pick it up.
I'll play the part. I'll kick you into the dirt.
Okay. Amazing.
And I'll go.
Ooh.
I'll kick you into the dirt,
Yeah.
and then I'll then grab the hat, pick you up, and I'll pull you back together, and I'll take the hat and I'll give it to somebody else. I'll put it on the little guy. Actually, that's what I'll do.
I mean, okay, so when you do that, like, there's a moment where like all of like little guys like the scales of him like just kind of like almost as a wave, like just kind of like this, like just several different shades, like from pink to orange to green, just kind of like shades just kind of change all across him, and you kind of just can tell just by how he looks. That's just his way of expressing confusion. Just like what?
Oh, also, that hat is made for somebody who's like a normal sized person.
Yeah.
You're like wearing daddy's cap right now.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I don't know, like it's like pink because he's like these different shades of like it's pink for like I'm flustered, but at the same time like kind of cool, but green, orange, light blue, like I don't know what to feel right now. I'm confused.
Beautiful.
And then goes back to normal colors. Is like his dark green.
I want you to roll me a deception check, Curse. I will go ahead and give that the help action from Teos.
I'm going to tell you right now, I have a +7 to this.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You just gotta keep rolling like we've been rolling all day, and not start rolling low.
You have a
Not.
natural 20.
I think we rolled more of those than anything else.
Like 5.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've never rolled that many in my life.
So 27.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually this one is really exciting. It's tricky pacing mysteries with dice rolling because like nat 20s force me to give you a lot of information. This one, I mean, the guy, the overseer laughs. He's taking pleasure from this display of barbarism. And he just kind of smirks and lets you go on your way. He wasn't sure about you before, Volton, but he's warming.
As this happened, I'm gonna call it to Teos. Careful, we need him. He saw everything. We need him conscious to talk to him.
And a little bit of a.
And when he says that, I'm going to stare at the head guard, with my beady eyes, and then a tongue little flick.
Yeah.
And he just lets it rip.
Just go.
I make direct eye contact.
And I poop my pants.
Yep.
And yeah.
Teos, getting full crop dusted, brother.
Mhm.
So, Cruel and unusual punishment, I tell you. Yeah. Hey, Curse, as you make eye contact with the sergeant, he looks at you, curious. Says, everything. But I know if well, perhaps we ought to be taking you in ourselves. Might find some I mean, we need more information about what happened.
I'll give it to you when we're done talking to him.
Has been a bit of a common theme today. Forgive me if I'm not. How can I be sure?
We've always dealt honestly with you, haven't we?
I suppose you have. Right then. Take him away.
All right, we're gonna go by and apparently, all right. If they're not gonna buy it, or if they're not gonna bite, we'll keep going.
Which is fine.
You can see him call someone aside and have a quick whispered discussion. From Teos and Teos, Dravik, and Little Guy, I'll have one of y'all. Who's in the rear, do you think? Dravik? Wicked. I'd love a perception check from you.
I was gonna say, can I try too, since I'm blind and good at hearing?
Blind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No.
No, never mind. I don't want to do it.
No.
No, we're gonna do that.
What is this?
We say
Give
screw
me
your
all of
mystery.
your information.
If it makes you feel any better, I rolled a natural 22, Tom.
Are you? Is that true?
I don't know if you can see this very well, but
Okay, so here's the stat block for the big bad.
Yeah.
So guys, here's what's really funny for me. The 2 times I rolled a dice, one of them was I was gonna do a thing. Like actually, only one time I rolled that I was asked to roll, and I rolled a 6 on die. So my contribution to the group investigation check was a total of 8.
Your contribution to the group is more than a dice roll ever could be.
is being freaking adorable.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I've got ears.
So yeah, what's this guy's opinions on literally everything?
Yeah, man. So when he was 9, his parents told him. And that just left an impact.
Yeah, just one.
So yeah, there is on that. I'm gonna give you some stuff, cause yeah. So here's a couple of things. One is that when I said cleaning things up, that was a little more literal than you may expect. You can see them taking the bodies and like cleaning the surroundings, essentially like disposing of the bodies and the evidence. On a nat 20, you can also tell that you're being followed. And that you have been. Not by someone that was like they sent someone out from the colony to tail you, there is another person who is also tailing you.
Affiliated with the guard? Like, are they like? What are they talking about? This guy?
The so the second person is not in a guard uniform, but Volton, it has become very easy for you to distinguish people by their footsteps and the way that they breathe.
Mm.
And you can recognize one of the guards who is presently off duty is here just in like normal clothes, look like kind of just he's kind of hugging cave walls, trying to look in, not like trying to look inconspicuous. He's not making his presence known.
Has he been with us this whole time? Like when we were formulating our plan and stuff?
No, but he's been too far away to hear you, especially if you like talk in a huddle. But he's been following you.
Well, I'm gonna keep going. I don't want to. I'm just gonna keep going with the deception.
Right, and indeed, that I guess was the plan.
Oh,
2 nat 20s, guys. What's going on?
in a row.
What was the? I mean, would we be able to hear what they were whispering to each other? Like,
Oh shit. Yeah, sure.
that's what I want to know more than anything.
Yeah, so what they said was we need him by tomorrow.
Excellent.
Let's go.
And yeah, like he's an escape artist. They know he's slippery. If he escapes, they won't expect anything.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So I say we keep going back to town.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try, and I assume everyone's okay with it. I'm gonna go directly to the order headquarters, to our keep.
Yeah. So, describe for me what the order headquarters looks like.
Okay. Yeah, it's built right into the cave wall, like in sort of the on at the edge of town, and it's basically the walls are a half hexagon that come out, so 3 walls, 2 diagonal, 1 in the middle, 2 towers at the corners. It's not a huge castle, but it's enough to house several dozen men. A gate in the middle, sort of your standard stone ditch outside the walls. Walls maybe 20, 30 feet high, with battlements, people can stand on them. Then inside, it's sort of like
built like a fort.
yeah, sort of like think Helm's Deep, but not like the sort of the keep side, built in very much like that. And then the main keep comes out, sort of a semicircular keep out from the wall, and it's sort of built out a little bit, but the vast majority of the structure goes into the stone of the Underdark. Additionally, like on either side of buildings built maybe out of the fungal wood and just like stone slabs inside of the courtyard of the walls. On one side, if you were to come in, it's like blacksmith, armory, stables for a bunch of like riding lizards and that sort of stuff. We don't use horses down the Underdark. Down on the other side is sort of barracks, a guest house, dining hall, that sort of stuff, where sort of the lower ranking members of the order would sleep when they're in town and not out doing Witcher stuff. And then the main hall, just again, it's sort of like meeting hall. Behind that is sort of a council chamber for the upper ranks, and then behind that is a chapel. So yeah, we'll go in, and then there's probably prison cells over near the barracks and stuff too. So as you come in, and you guys will notice there's dozens of members of the order. All of them, every single one of them, also wears masks. All of them are like iron or silver colored. I'm the only one with a gold colored mask. And they all have most of them have some sort of visible mutation, a limp or a birthmark or leprosy similar to me, or something wrong with them. The vast majority of them, enough that's sort of a hallmark of the order. Most of them are warriors like me. There's some more clerical or scholarly robes as well, though.
And y'all can see on like a stroll, just like walking, is a man deeply out of place in the Underdark. Father Darius, a fairly severe man who looks troubled, and all around just very like he looks like he's praying for answers. And then he sees Volton with with a prisoner in tow, and a bunch of like friendly acquaintances of the order, and also a bug dude. And he heads into the chapel.
All right. As we pull in, I'm gonna pull over to like one of the knights and gesture to Kurz. When he's not with me, I want him under lock and key, armed guard, no less than 4 knights at all times. And I'm gonna look at you, at Kurz. You'll be safer this way than on your own. They're after you.
Good
worked.
to know.
Please don't try to break out. Whether you succeed or not, it will make things much more difficult.
Understood.
And I will get off Ramses. They'll go to the stables, whatever. And I will take off your bonds for now while you're in the keep.
Put his card away.
So I'm gonna let you make this call, Blake. I think the answer is, but I'm inclined to say the answer is no. Do y'all have like a holding cell?
And we would probably have, we would have prison cell. Yeah, this is a castle, and we are a military order for we.
No, okay, gotcha.
Or at the very least, a room that can be easily converted.
No, that actually tracks. It would make sense for a military to, especially a Catholic military who's, not fond of killing in vain. Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not going to put him in there right now. He's free to, go around with the group and this because we're doing things.
Okay.
And we're going to interrogate him, clearly, just in case any of the guard are watching. We're going to bring him into the cell, into the hall, and for all appearances.
Yeah. So describe to me, as we enter the fort, what is the atmosphere like?
Oh, very somber. We're not very jovial. Our sort of whole charism is penance. So there's not a lot of speaking. It's very everyone does their business. If you're not training, working, you're praying. or studying or something like that. So it's very no nonsense, very somber atmosphere. Everyone's going about doing their jobs. From inside the main keep, you can hear the faint sound of chanting. There's pretty much always people in the chapel doing their super trad stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. And otherwise, a regular work of an order of knights.
Do people salute you, or is there another greeting that's more
We're very.
common?
I mean, I nod their head and stuff. I'm very much not. We're not. It's a very loose hierarchy.
Oh yeah, then lots of like almost everyone Volton passes in the halls, stops to smile, nod their head, and you know, give a short, curt greeting to.
Yeah, and I'll like pat some backs and like shake some hands, just sort of very curt nods of, or like acknowledgments and that sort of stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, we're not a very expressive group.
Mm-hmm. And all of that changes as you pass briefly the library and Sister Caitlin.
Catalan.
Catelyn. Okay, I'm not going crazy. Um, uh, as you pass Sister Catelyn in the library, who gives a warm smile to Volton and curtsies.
That's the one. That's what I'll actually like pull her into a hug. Like she's like into like a almost a fatherly sort of hug, and ask how
Yeah.
she's doing. Catelyn, how are you doing? Has anything changed since we last talked?
I'm more than well enough. Curse, was it?
Yes, my name is Curse. Nice to meet you.
Kirk speaks of you fondly.
I doubt that.
You would. And are you here to help? Do you need a Bible?
The less you know, the better. I'm I don't want her involved with this in any way. I'm going to step right in the conversation.
Oh,
Like, literally step between them.
Yep.
It's order business, sister.
right.
I don't mean to be rude.
Not at all. Nor did I. She's gonna head off to the library and continue.
As she heads off, I go, isn't she a part of the order? Then?
No, she is one of the sisters. There are a few of them down here. They're affiliated, but not members, and
Okay.
this is dangerous business I wish her to have no part in.
Makes sense.
I appreciate your understanding.
I'm here to follow.
Yeah. What are the conditions of the cell that Curse is to be held in?
It's a regular old stone cell, no windows, iron bars on one side. Among, we'll say one of three maybe.
What's the
with-
bed situation like?
Some straw, a straw mattress, and a bench.
Okay.
Very, very standard, like not absolute garbage, but like it's bare bones.
Sure.
Is there any? Well, there's probably nothing. Yeah. Is the door padlocked, or is there a lock built into the door? Asking for a friend.
I suppose it's probably just, I don't know, probably just locked built into the door. It would be one of the four knights I put on. He'd be the, I don't know, the jailer who would have the keys on him.
Yeah, very much
It's
so.
the classic key loop on the belt.
And as Volton greets the four knights, they're all wearing golden masks, which makes it hard to parse their expressions.
They would
But-
have silver masks. I'm the only guy with the gold.
My apologies.
That matters super a lot, but
Yeah. They, as Curse enters, several of them visibly cock their heads. One looks not surprised, but a bit exasperated.
When we go in, Curse will look at the situation, go, would it be proper, and could I get another pillow, please? It helps with the back.
The knights look to you.
I don't even sleep with a pillow.
I do. 2 of them.
There are literally no pillows in this entire castle.
Oh. I look back to the pillowless bed and go, if I'm cranky tomorrow, I will blame you. And
I will take it gladly.
Welcome to a life of mortification, says one of the knights.
Perfect. And he'll go, sounds like I need some rest. And he will go ahead and sit on the bed and soon after fall asleep, regardless of what time it is.
I'll turn to I'll turn to the jailer, Sir Gallus. As hard as it may be to believe, Curse has vital information. He must be protected at all costs. He's a witness to a crime. You'll probably hear about it, and you can put 2 and 2 together. There's a slaughter with the were-rats. The guard are after him. Things might be getting political. Keep him safe.
Volton, sir, is he a killer?
Why, yes, I am a killer.
Not yet. I'm sure he would if he could.
Right.
We'll deal with him later. Right now, the guard are our primary issue. Something is afoot here. Keep him safe.
Yes. It will be done.
Thank you. Give him the Roman handshake and head out.
Yeah, so that brings us about to afternoon. What's everybody, doing today?
If you don't mind, my plan is pretty easy because I've been in a jail cell all afternoon, evening, and night. So, Curse's plan, very easy. He knows that he is most dangerous at night, so he's going to get his 8 hours here in the afternoon. In the evening, when things get a little bit dark and the guards, maybe during a guard shift or something like that, he will take his coat off. Like he'll have his cloak off. He will undo the bed, make it nice and neat. Put the trench coat on the straw. Put everything over top of it to mimic me being there, and I'm going to drape the sheets on it so that they're barely above the ground, but you can't see under the bed. And all night, Curse will be under the bed.
He's molting.
Yeah.
Bird can be a beautiful butterfly.
Okay.
And the whole time, Curse is actually shivering throughout the entire night.
Yeah.
Top of the bed, and he was under the bed.
Yep.
Blake, how realistic would it be for a little guy to just be able to casually walk around and explore the castle?
And there'd be certainly some rooms you wouldn't be allowed into, but yeah, honestly, I don't think I view you as a fully sentient person. I sort of see you as a familiar, or just a So like a WoW, like in like an RPG game, like you have a pet.
Okay.
I don't really register like you're like a fully sentient being yet.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
It's like
it's
okay,
not,
whatever.
they're like I can reasonably walk around and like not
Yeah.
be escorted. Okay.
Yeah, we're not like not in lockdown. Yeah, you can just You wouldn't be able to go like into the secret chambers or archives or anything. But yeah.
Lovely. I would like to wander until I find sister.
Okay,
The sister's name, but the
Sister
the teacher-
Catalin.
Yeah.
is it Catalin? Is that what I heard?
Catalin, yeah.
Catalin. I want to go find her. I'm gonna wander, and then if I find like I'm kind of curious about her, so I'm gonna try to find her. And while I find her, like if I get distracted by something, whatever. I get distracted, and I'll like look at that for a little bit.
Absolutely. I don't imagine there being a lot to be distracted by. That's in part the point. As you wander through, is your cloak up?
Yeah, I have my hood up, so I'm kind of just wandering around. I kind of look a
Yeah.
little suspicious, and that has not crossed my mind.
Honestly, all of these order members, if you looked at them the right way, would probably look a little suspicious. So this is the first space you've probably seen that's about 50-50 between deep gnomes and outsiders. Outside city bounds in the mission, it's mostly people who are not deep gnomes. In the city, it's mostly deep gnomes. Here, it's truly like there's a lot of outsiders and there's a lot of deep gnomes.
So it's a wide. There's a
Uh,
lot going on here,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone's still, like they're sombers. I think what Blake used to describing words like
Yeah,
they're
there's
all
an
doing their own thing.
there is an air of humble duty about the place. And people are here because they're doing their duty. That's the deal. And as you backtrack, find the library, you will find Sister Catalin there, reading a book.
I'm gonna be standing like a ways away that like someone that's like in a good book would just not notice I'm there, and in her head she's gonna hear, "Hi."
She flinches, and looks around. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. She reaches down a hand to kind of shake yours.
And then like, as shaking hands, like I'm gonna kind of like, Matt's gonna like kind of like lean forward a little bit and look up into her eyes and be like, "Name?"
You can call me Sister Catalin. And yours?
Sister Catalin.
Yes.
Hi, I'm the little guy, Sister Catalin.
Aren't you just? Is do you need something?
Need something. No.
You
Just wanted
arrived
to-
with Fulton, yes?
Yes.
Right. Is there... Well, do you... I fear I haven't seen anyone else who looks the way that you do. If
Well,
you're
neither
looking
have I.
right, well, then you. Where are your parents? Caretakers? Or owners? Or.
I have friends. Friends.
Is Fulton one of your friends?
Did he call me that?
He never will. Um,
You can tell there's little guy for this like starts turning this shades of blue.
oh, no, it's simply not his way.
Okay, then I turn back to green.
He's,
Oh,
it's hard to coax emotion out of an old man like Fulton. But I'm sure he loves you very much.
I'm just gonna stare at her.
We'll return to that in a second.
Yes.
Teos, you are in the Order's headquarters. How are you feeling about it? It's a very severe place. But
I think I feel somewhat at home. There's definitely a feeling of maybe a little bit. I feel like Teos is feeling slight relief, but also slight disappointment that the situation did not bring about any combat. He was hoping. He was rather angered by the men, and his rage had nowhere to go, and so he's feeling a little tense. He kicked Curse in the ground in part because he recognized it made sense, and also because he needed somewhere for his rage to go. So Curse's back is probably going to hurt regardless if he has a pillow.
well,
Um,
that's gonna be great because he's sleeping on the ground on cold stone.
yeah.
Willingly.
But I would have wanted to find Dravik
Yeah.
and talked to Dravik actually.
I will be clear. I'm sleeping on the bed, but then in the evening, then I'm underneath the pillow. Like once night falls, like I'm sleeping right now in the afternoon,
Oh, how
and
exciting.
then
Okay, gotcha.
after my 8 hours, it'll be roughly in the evening when the moon is like after the sun is setted. Then I'm underneath, knowing I'm predicting that he will get ambushed tonight.
So you're
So-
you're willingly sleeping, laying underneath your bed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm
Nice.
sleeping on the bed right now during the afternoon. After my 8 hours, then I'm going underneath and just staying awake underneath the bed, chilling. So either way, yes, my back will hurt, but I will be awake underneath the bed. But anyways,
Okay.
Yes, so I would actually seek out Dravik and wish a conversation with him.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
Sorry.
Behold the man.
Had to greet the sleepy baby. So,
Dravik, you said was.
aye. And you were
Teos.
right. You're. There's kind of like a look of a mix of as he like meets your gaze. A look of there's like kind of some walls up and maybe a slight amount there's some anger there and a slight amount of fear in his gaze when he looks at you.
I would say Your gaze is familiar. And
Mine?
one that I have seen. Yes. I've seen it in myself. Most days. Do you know what my name means?
I don't pretend to know.
It means the end.
Like a bedtime
You went
story.
out. No, not a bedtime story. See, when I was born to those who worship Spider God. And I wasn't like them. They cast me out. No matter. I was helped along the way by many people. I don't know if you're a man of God. It matters not to me if you are. But he was with me. And every moment of every day, I have felt him with me. I felt him calling me to a specific place. And it is here. What that is, I have not known. But I fear it might be becoming more and more real and more aware to me the more the days go on. As that same look that you have in your eye, of rage, of anger, it continues to grow in my own. I see what they did to your friends, the rats, the were-rats. I watch what the dwarves do and grackles do every day. The continued unrest, the continued disbelief. And it angers me quite so. How do you do it? How do you handle all the anger and not let it slip out?
See, you're a deep thinking man. To be honest with you, I don't know. I understand how you feel, but I think maybe our rage and pain is driven by different things. I'm a very broken man, Talos. I didn't always look like this. And I unwrap my left hand, or my right hand, sorry. Unwrap my right hand from its just kind of cloth glove covering, take it off, and it's just skeletal. It's just as your people, perhaps you don't call them that, but they did this to me. I have no eyes because of them. And you can see in the light just sockets and then 2 small pinpricks of light instead. You say you're a God-fearing man. I tell you, there's lots of gods that many people worship. And some of them are... Well, I don't know if I trust any of them anymore.
And I'll be honest with you. Neither do I. And that's why I want to kill them.
Your people? The Drow? Or...
They're
God?
gods.
Frick, man.
Well, the music's popping off.
Yeah.
Out of war. What? No.
You asked about the rage and pain. There's a hunger deep inside me for violence. Part of it driven by your people. Part of it just... It is the nature of being in the Underdark. I suppose I I've tried my best to run from it, but it seems that any sort of conflict it will. I didn't mean to do what I did to that guard. I should have just left, but something made me want to kill him. So I suppose maybe the best way is to find the thing that does require the beating, that does deserve the rage, and deliver. I don't know.
Agreed.
I think I need to be alone now, Talos. But thank you for stopping by.
I'm gonna go hook up with my boy, Father Stark.
Yeah. As you walk out into the courtyard, you see Father Stark in a position that would place him very shortly after y'all went inside. And he's talking to two of the guardsmen.
Two of the city guardsmen?
Yeah.
I'm beelining it.
Yep. Giving it the old power walk.
Father Stark, what seems to be what brings our guests here?
I will allow them to explain that, for they
Yes.
have failed to do so to me.
How can I help you, gentlemen?
You can see Father Stark extremely flustered. He is a little bit annoyed and extremely nervous. The guard's demeanor changes somewhat as you approach. Previously, it was two physically fit men talking to an older priest. And then someone who is fearsome entered the room. And there you can notice a change in their conversational tone at that.
Yes, gentlemen, I trust you were treating my favorite priest well, were you not?
Always. Hospitality is important in Blingdenstone.
What can I do for you?
The Order has a guest with whom we would like to discuss. I trust you know the one.
You will have your answers. He is an order, a guest to the order, and he will be treated as such.
This is the first time the Order has been seen interfering with city business.
The order is intimately invested in city business, and has been since this city was founded.
Maybe too intimate.
We'll have to agree to disagree. Sometimes it's good to have non-partial bystanders to keep everyone straight.
Right.
We will get to the truth of things, and that is what we all want, is the truth. For everyone, yes?
Right.
Unless there's anything you guys know that we do not, that could help speed the investigation.
The other members of your Order, their masks have, Where are your eyes, brother?
I don't need eyes.
We'll see about that.
What does that mean?
They, on that, turn heel and begin walking back toward the city.
I trust you won't do anything this whole city will regret. I'm calling him out as I'm like, the whole courtyard's hearing me call him out.
Of course not. We'll do everything by the book.
As will we.
Whoa. Okay.
Hot Carl.
Little guy. You are staring up at Sister Catalin.
Yes,
who,
I am. Yes, I am.
if you have a lick of insight, you can tell that she has absolutely no idea what to do with you. You seem to be some kind of strange child who has escaped your parents. But
Oh. I'm gonna keep looking up at her until it's uncomfortable, and then I'm gonna ask, "What do you do? What are you reading?"
uh, she smiles down at you and says, she shows you a book that says the Summa Theologia on the front, and says, I had a couple of questions, and this is one of the books that I look at when I have questions.
What's your question?
Well, I was, do you know who God is, little one?
Little one takes a moment. He kind of like looks off to a distance for a second and looks like he's in deep in thought. And looks back at her. And like just says no.
Well, we believe here in a man called God. And he is always looking out for us. God has a kingdom far away. And to get to that kingdom, you need to be like God in some ways. And the process of becoming like God is the topic of my inquiry today.
What type of people live in God's kingdom?
Anyone who is willing to choose to.
So I can
But I
click that right now.
fear. Well, I fear you could not go now. It's a place where your soul goes one day.
Little guy
Your
just
soul,
looks back at her like, what's a soul?
your soul is like a part of your body, and it goes away to heaven once you die.
What's heaven?
Heaven is the name of our Father's kingdom, of God's kingdom.
Do all people go to heaven? I'm playing 50 questions now. I'm not gonna lie.
Only those who choose to. But it is a hard choice.
What are my choices? If it's a hard choice, would it be like is there another kingdom I can go to?
Well, if you choose to, you may not go to heaven. And if you choose not to go to heaven, someone called the Devil, who dislikes God very much, will take you to his kingdom. And it's a bad kingdom.
Why would you not like God?
I do not know. But there are many. Can I get you a glass of water?
I'm trying to. Sorry, I just took a moment and I was like, how would little guy actually drink water with the mandibles in front of him?
Yeah, your mandibles are dexterous enough to kind
Right,
of
like, probably
like
like
a dog's
somehow.
tongue, like it pushes
Yeah.
water into your mouth.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I'll say yes, and then honestly, I would just like the rest of the time to just like trying to explain Catholicism to a child that's never heard of Catholicism.
Yeah, so you get the impression that there's a man named Jesus who loves us very much. And Jesus has a father whose kingdom is heaven. And that kingdom is far away, very far from anything we've ever known. And it's all sort of a very like elementary school um, version of Catholicism.
Yeah. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, I think my focus is going to be also like, after getting like somewhat a general idea, like start focusing on like who goes to heaven and what do they like
Yeah.
and like what characteristics they have.
She would have
And
turned
if
to the parable of the sheep and the goats, a favorite of hers.
and then if angels come into conversation at all, just like hyper fixate on angels because they
Okay.
sound interesting.
Yeah, you would get a lot of different. They're either cool, badass men with wings who have like wicked glowing armor and swords, or they're like eldritch super beings, like a ball of like wheels, like a wheel with eyes and wings, and yeah, um,
Yeah,
all very
that's
cool.
yeah, that's lovely. When our conversation ends, um, I'll tell her thank you, and I'll also ask her what her favorite color is.
Oh, well, and she has a sort of like a brown habit on, uh, and she says, um, my favorite color is rose. Not that you could tell.
And then I'll ask her to try to describe what that looks like.
Hmm.
Describe a color.
I think she goes out and grabs crayons or like colored pencils for you, and gives you a set of colored pencils that you can keep, and a little notebook where she shows you the colors that go into rose. It's like pink and white.
And
Um,
I'll hold on to both of them, one in each hand, and then those hands will turn to respective color. So like one's like a pink and one becomes white, and then it starts going down my arms and then comes together to mix together to make that rose color. Kind of and that's just my like thank you.
uh, happy to. Now we should get you back to Volton before something happens.
And then I use it back to the normal color. Put my
As you say that, let's.
hold on.
You'll see a bell start to ring as a meeting is being called of all present in the keep.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, I believe, gentlemen, that it is at that meeting we'll begin the next session.